I'm empty. I have no more energy to give. Well, I guess we should go to therapy. I had been trying to get him to go for 4 years. The way I see it, we have three options. One, cut our losses now. Two, ride this till the wheels fall off and see what happens. Three, keep trying to be married, end up hating us like all of our divorced friends. She said they went to therapy for 4 months. He had major issues that therapy only began to uncover. Every session reinforced the fact that she knew she wanted a divorce. The day she asked him and knew for sure they had gone out to eat, walked hand in hand through downtown, cried, and both knew they had to separate.
Baby cried. That's the OJ song.
Cry. I messed up the note. So yeah, Casey took time to write a long response to that. So I hope that helps a little bit, Tiffany, but we certainly wish you the best. And always remember that there is a table at the cafe here for you.
Yes, it is.
Honorable Deacon, anything else you want to say?
Sometimes we have to let things go. If you break your toys, if you break your toys, you have to throw them in the recycle bin for other people to get.
Indeed.
That's all I can say about it.
Yes, indeed. Okay, let us see now. Topic number 2 comes from Tia out of the ATL. Both topics are from the ATL. So Tia asked Honorable Deacon, do you think that men prefer aggressive women or a more laid-back woman?
I need the combination of both. I need a vicious animal some days. She got to be straight out the jungle, you know what I mean? In order just to put up with me some days. And on certain instances, I do prefer the silence and the intellect. So it has to be that combination. You know, me being a Leo, it helps me when a woman is a little bit more aggressive, though. That's just me personally.
Okay. What about the things that you're seeing in society? Are you seeing the trends changing in the world?
Society has set in play where women have to be more outgoing in a lot of different areas where they don't necessarily need a man say. And that puts some men in a messed up situation where they are being the submissive person in the relationships, and the women are being, for lack of a better word, jackasses.
The women are being jackasses?
Yes, they are. In some instances. I'm not going to say in all instances, in some instances that I am seeing. But that's because of how society is being set up. And it goes back into that the social work areas where they are generally helping out women more than they're helping out men. I'm not saying that men can't get like assistance from the state or whatever, but it takes a little bit more time. It's a little bit more harder for them. And so with the government just giving women everything that they need, the women are saying, well, I don't need a man. And then in most instances where the government is helping out the woman, they don't allow the boyfriend to be in the house anyway. You know, so that's the government's way of saying, well, I'm your man. I'm going to help you out. You don't need him. And so they're not willing to work with a lot of men just in general coming into a relationship. So they're going to be like jackasses sometimes, you know. And I'm not saying all women. I'm just saying some of the ones that I'm running across. I do notice that.
So do you think that, what do you think is, well, let me see how I want to pose this. I think that women need to be careful. Fuck it. Women don't need to be careful. They need to be themselves. So let's say this: instead of a woman being submissive or restraining herself or being aggressive, just be yourself from time to time, from moment to moment. Because the question I was going to ask is, um, are women wearing the pants more these days? And then the follow up question was going to be: is a society that's putting the male-female relationship in a situation where women are wearing the pants, or is it that the fact that the men are not stepping up?
Well, so the thing is, it's hard for us to, the state and the federal government flip-flop so much as far as what they're allowed and won't allow. At one point, if a man talked to a woman crazy, they went to jail for like 5 years. Mm-hmm. If he was too aggressive with it, he really went to jail. Until recently, though, they started arresting both parties, male and female. Mm-hmm. But it got women so aggressive and they got men so timid. They didn't know what the fuck to do. So a man was just accepting whatever. And there was this one case, I think it was in Texas, where the lady ran over the dude like 5 or 6 times in the car.
Yeah.
So things like that do happen, and what's the term I'm looking for? Anyway, it makes a man extremely more sensitive. Instead of being the man and saying, well, this is how it should be, setting some guidelines for a good foundation in a relationship, they kind of shy away from it because they're scared if they rise up against a woman, they're going to go to jail. Especially for those who have already gone to jail before. It intimidates them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of women nowadays aren't scared to say, well, they'll run up in the guy's face and say, I'll smack the shit out of you. You're just a little kid. You're a bitch. I hear a lot of girls calling dudes bitches, and that's going to get a lot of women hurting at some point.
Okay, and a lot of women are calling each other bitches, too.
That's what they do. That's the thing that's a woman thing.
But see, you can't say things like that in a playful manner, and then when it becomes serious, you say that, and then not be ready to deal with the consequences that come with it.
Well, that's true. But it happens every day.
Because then, if it gets heated, they don't know if the woman is serious or not.
Right.
Yeah.
And so at what point do you protect yourself? At what point is it self-defense? That's the question. If a woman is calling you a bitch-ass man and walking up on you and she's rolling her neck and swinging her hand and snapping her fingers, at what point do you just either throw up your hands and say, don't touch me, and try to walk away? Or do you grab her and hug her and say, I love you? What do you do?
Well, you've got to always maintain that balance, and you've got to be a man, number one. Sometimes you may need to walk away, but you always want to love. You always want to hug. But the question is she going to respect you? If you're hugging her, if you're trying to love her, will she respect you more if you walk away? Or if you guys are using that kind of language, not you, but if the male and female are using that type of language towards one another, are they respecting each other in the first place?
Depends on how you grew up.
Yeah.
If those words were commonplace to you, if those phrases were commonplace to you.
Indeed.
It just depends.
Concerning the type of woman, aggressive versus submissive. I don't want to say submissive, but aggressive versus the alternative. Sluggo says it's a delicate balance. It's delicate and balance is the key. I correct myself. So since I corrected myself, I call that autocorrect. He says a delicate balance is key. That threshold differs from man to man, and I agree. Spicy agrees with Sluggo. Thorny Switch has joined us from Georgia. Broncos boy has joined us. Jamie, Ronnie's son, has joined us. Welcome, Jamie. Let's see who else has joined us. Guinness Jata. Okay. Sandra has joined us too. Welcome back, Sandra. Glad to have you joining us tonight. So everybody is saying their greetings. So Buster says, don't hit her because your ass is going to jail. You know.
So
huh?
You remember we had the professor?
Yep.
And he said he would take her by the back of the head and smack her in the face.
And call her a bitch. But see, in that situation, if you remember how the story played out, he played ignorant to the cultures of the U.S. He was like, that's what we do in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw in the news this week where in Pakistan, I think it was, somebody in the chat room confirm or correct me if I'm wrong, but they're passing a code that says it's okay for a man to lightly hit his wife, lightly physically punish his wife.
Well, I think they were beating them with 2x4s and shit, though. You know, They were going over and beyond. Well, see, that's the thing, though. You should be able to tell a person you need a certain amount of personal space if you already understand that they're upset with you. You know, don't run up on me if you're already mad, screaming and shit, because it's not going to go the way you think it is,
That's right. That's right. So we have a lighthearted question here. The next one is from Joe in Wiggins, Mississippi. I have no idea where Wiggins, Mississippi is.
You're not by yourself. You're not by yourself.
Joe's question is to the Honorable Deacon and to myself. Have either of us ever had a woman show up to our house? First of all, I don't feel comfortable with the man asking us these questions, but sometimes the fellas like to live through us. So I'm going to open this one up to the chat room too. The question is, have either one of us ever had a woman show up to our door wrapped in a trench coat or just an outer coat and naked underneath?
But of course. At one point, that was a prerequisite for me. In my latter college years,
Sounds like you're getting happy reminiscing.
Those were the days. I had women driving up to the stairs in a cat suit, opening the door with the roses and things like that. But yeah, of course. That is what it's supposed to be like some days, They have to really show their interest and show the amount of the extent of who they are, their sexuality, their sensuous portions of themselves. My God, you haven't lived until you've seen a woman with just a trench coat and high heels walking up to your door, and opening the door, and doing the little shimmy and shake.
Shimmy shake.
That's right. Being the mysterious lady, doing the role play thing. You know what I mean? That's spontaneity. That's what people need in their relationship.
So you sound like you've had it happen more than once.
But of course. Yes, I have.
Uncle Mike, welcome, Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike asked the question